is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon. We begin today with breaking news. The Liquor Control Board has voted to recommend to further suspend the liquor license of the Africa Restaurant and Nightclub. It's been suspended since July 1st. This afternoon's vote is setting up an important decision to be made by Fargo City Commissioners Monday on the embattled establishment. The vote was 4-1, with many of the board members asking for the nightclub and its legal team to make necessary changes. The Fargo Police Chief asked for the board to deny the recommendation to the City Commissioners, citing deception and concerns with the ownership group, as well as several calls for service, including one fatal shooting. Newly filed court documents are shedding a disturbing light on last week's homicide in Moorhead. Idris Haji Muhammad is charged with second-degree murder for the shooting death of Abdi Abdi of Fargo. Bail is set at $1 million with conditions, $2 million without. It's unknown if or how the men knew each other. Court documents say they were at the Casey's gas station on 30th Avenue South last Friday. Surveillance video shows Abdi driving away from the gas station, followed by Haji Muhammad. Then, at an apartment complex, documents say Abdi was smoking a cigarette when Haji Muhammad started chasing him through the parking lot and shooting at him. Once Abdi was laying on the ground, documents say the suspect then fired 5 more shots into his body at point-blank range. Officers caught up with Haji Muhammad after he dropped his wallet at the scene. The Minnesota Supreme Court has overturned the murder conviction of a former Minneapolis police officer. Mohammed Noor was convicted of third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in the death of Justine Damon back in 2017. Now the case is headed back to district court, where he'll be sentenced on the manslaughter charge. Noor has already served more than 28 months on his murder sentence. If sentenced to the presumptive 4 years for manslaughter, he could be eligible for supervised release around the end of this year. Hutch joins us now with the first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. A good evening as we head into those evening hours, and as that drive time is rapidly approaching, looking at the Northern Valley, some dark skies there as a result of some showers, even rumbles of thunder working their way right through that area. Here is a look at that radar. We saw them forming right over the Red River Valley and continuing mainly into northwest Minnesota. Most of the activity is north of Interstate 94, but to the south we have spotty thunder showers. Look at the heat out west, 88 in Hettinger, and it's cool in the low 60s right now in Thief River Falls as those showers are moving over your area as we speak. Here is a look at your forecast in Fargo tonight. We're talking about temperatures that will slowly slip down into the 60s, will fall slowly because of the clouds. Shower chances should stay north of Fargo for the time being, but as we go through the overnight hours, we'll have a chance of storms. And tomorrow, it's a first alert weather day because there is a risk of some severe storms in our far eastern counties. We'll keep you apprised of this as we go through the rest of the show. We'll have your hour-by-hour details. All threats are possible tomorrow, including an isolated tornado, mainly in the areas you see highlighted in yellow. Details in your forecast in just a few moments.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. New for you now at 4. The Bemidji Police Department still hasn't been able to make contact with a 23-year-old woman reported missing by her co-workers and roommates yesterday. They're looking for Stephanie Choop. She's 5'2", 200 pounds. She has blue eyes and long brown hair. Police say she may be driving a white 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix with Minnesota license plate 655 RVZ. Investigators have been looking at surveillance video and trying to get in touch with her, but so far have not been successful. If you have any information, call Bemidji Police at 218-333-9111. Fargo police say since the start of the school year, they've received 22 reports from school bus drivers on a variety of violations they've seen on roads in town. Police say of those, 8 citations have been issued and 8 others are still under investigation. Police add the number of violations is likely much higher than what's being reported to them. They want to remind drivers you must stop when a school bus has activated its flashing red lights, stop sign, control arm, or safety strobe lights. They say a violation of this ordinance results in a $100 fine and 6 points off the driver's license. President Biden invited business leaders to the White House to discuss COVID-19 vaccine mandates. As Natalie Brand reports, this comes amid a surge of COVID cases among the unvaccinated and a push by the White House to fight back by expanding vaccine mandates.
President Biden met with business leaders at the White House across tech, tourism to retail, a range of industries, but all companies that have implemented COVID-19 vaccine policies in the workplace.
And it's about beating this virus, and it's about saving lives. That's what this is all about.
The White House credits private sector requirements with helping to drive up vaccination rates.
After United Airlines announced its vaccine requirement, the vaccine rate for employees went from 59% to 79% in less than a month.
President Biden announced a vaccine mandate last week that would affect around 100 million workers. Governors in many Republican-led states have objected, but a new Monmouth University poll finds a majority of Americans support mandates, including 63% that favor requiring COVID vaccines for healthcare workers, 58% for federal employees, and 55% for private government contractors.
The Labor Department has to craft the president's new COVID vaccine rule that would require companies with 100 or more employees to require vaccinations or offer weekly testing.
OSHA is going through the process of determining the regulations and requirements here to give businesses and employers all these clear guidelines.
Employers are already preparing for some pushback, including workers claiming religious exemption.
You have to make that link between the vaccine and the sincerely held religious belief. And if you can't, then employers could be within their right to deny the request.
Experts say one possible alternative would be to consider remote work when possible for individuals who do not want to get vaccinated. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
That same poll found that 63% of Americans currently support mask and social distancing guidelines in their state. That's up from 52% in July. A judge has ruled against a group of Minnesota parents who filed a lawsuit against the state and Governor Tim Walz asking for a statewide school mask mandate. Court documents say the judge denied the group Parents Advocating for Safe Schools motion for temporary restraining order, which asked to require Walz and the Minnesota Department of Education to institute a mask mandate in all public K-12 schools. 4 Olympic gymnasts appeared on Capitol Hill today for a committee hearing on the FBI's handling of the Larry Nassar investigation. Simone Biles, Aly Raisman, Michaela Maroney, and Maggie Nichols each testified about the abuse they suffered at the hands of the disgraced USA Gymnastics doctor. They also detailed how they say FBI agents, along with the USA Gymnastics organization, failed them and other victims.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse.
In 2017, Larry Nassar pleaded guilty to abusing 10 of the more than 265 women and girls who came forward to say they were molested. He's serving up to 175 years in prison. Many are calling a new Minnesota law a significant victory for survivors of sexual assaults while intoxicated. Minnesota's law treating voluntarily intoxicated victims of sexual assault differently than those involuntarily intoxicated remained untouched for decades. The Supreme Court in its ruling said origins of the law date as far back as 1889. And in 2017, a Minnesota man couldn't be charged with felony rape because the court ruled that the woman chose to drink beforehand. But starting today, a new law expands the definition of mentally incapacitated, making it easier to prosecute sexual assault cases when a victim is intoxicated by his or her own choosing.
This is a significant victory for survivors and advocates and others who want to bring these cases to justice.
A law professor says at least 15 other states have similar laws to Minnesota's recently changed statute. The Minnesota State Patrol is hiring, and the department has adopted a new way to get people in the door. Cece Gaines talked with one Minnesota mom who had a desire to protect those in her community and made the change in career.
From small business owner,
my husband and I, we actually own 2 Cold Stone creameries,
to working for the Minnesota State Patrol.
This is a career. It's definitely a lifestyle.
Gina DeCesare always had a desire to protect those in her community, but it was never something she made the commitment to do.
I have 3 children, and even though I had the desire to become law enforcement, I decided to raise my children first.
So DeCesare took a non-traditional route to become a state trooper. That same route is being offered now through the Minnesota State Patrol. It's called Law Enforcement Training Opportunity, or LETO. The program is open to all, but there's a renewed focus on women and people with diverse backgrounds.
We want to have a workforce that reflects the community that we interact with.
For Lido applicants, no law enforcement experience is needed. All you need is a 2- or 4-year degree in any field.
It's extremely beneficial for those individuals who haven't pre-planned a law enforcement career.
If you're accepted into the Lido program, the State Patrol pays for your schooling and pays you a trooper trainee salary at the same time. Reps say the job has a ton of great benefits and is a great opportunity to give back. If someone is still on the fence, they say don't be.
We give you all of the training that you need for that confidence in the field.
All the training you need to bring change to the roads.
The way we make change is by having people step into this field and be brave enough to want to make a change.
The Minnesota State Patrol is also accepting traditional candidates with law enforcement experience. You have to be 21 to apply. Applications are being accepted through Sunday. Dakota High School, previously known as Woodrow Wilson High School, held an opening ceremony today to commemorate the school's new name. The location of the high school is still at the same spot at the Agassi Building along South University Drive in Fargo. The school's name change came after claims of non-inclusivity of the Woodrow Wilson administration.
Well, the school board had the policy change which resulted in the name change. And in terms of appropriately honoring the full history of the name Dakota, a lot of time and energy went into making sure that we honor our present, we honor our past, and importantly connect them.
The Dakota High School name was chosen through public input, and the Fargo Board of Education made the final selection back in December. The school mascot is the meadowlark, which is the North Dakota state bird. If you're in the market for a new home or even your first, you're in luck. The Parade of Homes is back and you can schedule a tour. There are 27 homes to explore from in Fargo, West Fargo, and Horace. The tour features new homes and fresh renovations and can give you ideas for building a house or remodeling your existing space.
There's about 30 homes on the Fall Parade of Homes this year, and the Fargo-Moorhead Home Builder Association is the sponsor. And again, it's just a great way to get out and see the latest in new home styles and design trends.
The Parade of Homes is the last 2 weekends in September from noon until 5. More details can be found on valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Hurricane Nicholas left behind some major flooding. We'll take you there later on Valley News Live at 4.
And for tomorrow, a few thunderstorms could be strong, even severe. We'll have hour-by-hour details on exactly when and where those will erupt. We'll have details as well as on some much wetter weather in the extended forecast next.